Before I start the discussion session, may I invite all the presenters, that is Mr. Gunaratna, Ms. Adhikari, Mr. Nandana Patirage, and Mr. Asela Gunasekara to come and sit at the front. All the presenters, please. Of course, the co-authors can support their presenters in answering questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is your time now to ask for clarifications. We have the mics. If you raise your hand, we will get it. Being a lecturer, I'm always told that the first question is the hardest. So I'll do the hardest job for you. I'll ask the first question from each of the 4 presenters.
Covered with the 5 factors which I have given. So that's why I have focused, but that is also where they are in some cases. Services will be distracted, and sometimes the frequently occurring unreliable situations will make their turn their positive attitude to the negative attitude. So it is a concern, but at this point I have not much touched that concern.
People are not well trained.
Yeah.
Some of the people, old generation.
Yeah.
So there is a clear security leakage on these aspects.
Yes.
And also the reliability aspect. You might enter a lot of data.
Yes.
And it just lost because of some small action. So these are the key issues that we have taken into account when we are going into these directions. Because huge losses time and money as well.
Yes. So actually I have done meta-analysis for this level, because before moving to a serious type of a research, I wanted to figure out, to have a lead point to identify some key things to investigate at the next level. So definitely I will look into that. So thank you very much for doing it.
I think. Go ahead.
Do you understand any fear about, because people have generally fear about losing jobs when they get into the sector. So what are the issues related to this? Because always all generations think that they will lose their jobs.
Yes, now mainly when you talk about the fear, based on the fear they resist using e-government services. So so all it includes the attitude, motivation, everything. So it is very much important. That's why I say at the end of my presentation, I said we have to re-engineer the awareness programs of e-government, which is currently conducting in Sri Lanka. So those awareness programs should include providing better understanding about the underlying purpose and how you can benefit it as a public sector employee, how you can be benefited of providing and using these tools. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think Dr. Tushara and I go back to the days where people used to write their username and password on the front cover of their books, perhaps, so that everybody could see. Actually, even that situation hasn't changed that much in some of the public sector in Sri Lanka. So while we talk about enhanced security measures, the use policies, all those are also equally important for us to make sure that these e-government services are going a long way. But security is an important issue, and I think we can move on to Mr. Patirage also with the same concerns. How would, now you talk about banking sector and strategic information system planning. How would the security affects this in the Sri Lankan banking sector in terms of IS strategic planning?
Yes, madam. As I explained there, in the Sri Lankan banking industry, actually Sri Lankan categorized as most 10 countries within the rank of the 10. So as a credit card frauds and the ATM frauds. So that's happening due to they caught all the people, but the thing is, the information systems are not really concerned on that. They might concern, but the security is less comparatively with the other developed countries. Because as you know, once you get your credit card or ATM card, it says it's a Master or a Visa or a American Express. So that's mean it's connected all over the world. So once you, so what's it currently it's happening in not the situation is because due to the failure of the Sri Lankan banking sector, it will affect to another country. So what in the recent past there are some cases. So the foreigners, especially Ukrainians and other some people come here by, you know, when you give your credit card or a ATM, especially the credit card to supermarkets or petrol sheds, so there is some kind of a barcode readers. They will extract those informations and they come to the Sri Lanka and they will using some kind of a software. It's available, technology, everything is there. So then they will create a expired ATM card, so create a new ATM cards. It's easy in Sri Lanka. Create an ATM card, they will enter that all the exact details of the foreigners into that particular barcode, mean the magnetic readers. So they use Sri Lankan ATM network to withdraw money. So in developed countries, they can't use that because there is a high security concern. So that's why they are using Sri Lankan ATM sector. That's why each and every month or every day we are getting that kind of a news, the withdraw money from the ATM. They caught not because of the technological improvements of the information systems of the banking system. They caught because of their greediness. Normally, when you take the one ATM machine, there is the amount that bank deposited. So they count it within a certain period. If that money goes out, withdrawn, they will consider and throughout CCTV camera, they will concentrate on that. Then how they will catch the person? Not because of the power of their information system. But other countries, you can't use forged ATMs or a credit card. They will catch at the moment. But here, in the security wise, that's why Sri Lankan banking sector, in the ill adjustments is there. We are not actually move forward, facing those real world constraints or pressures.
So what are the solutions that you propose? Because
Yeah,
I went through
there
your
are
presentation,
some-
but I didn't see any solutions
Yeah,
for these
here,
questions.
yes, as you explained, here we categorize the issues, what kind possible issues and how extent it's affect. The solutions actually in those developed countries, they use with the ATM fingerprint, they integrated both two. So only the ATM holder, the credit card holder only use that particular one. No one other, no anyone can use that.
Fingerprints are not using it internationally.
Yeah, no, in some case, once you enter the credit card, it will get only the password. So there are some situations they use not only the password, they use another authentication modes. So there are specific authentication modes. So then here we use only the password. That
But
is
but the issue is credit card has to be used all the tanking places and all other places.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
I mean, there is a security leakage in our system, you would say. So, with your this, I'm not much aware of this IS planning and IS development, but there should be well aware of the issue, problem. But we also need to have kind of solutions.
yeah, that is the solution is come with the planning stage when you, because this globalized world, if failure of the one institution in Sri Lanka will affect another institution in UK or other countries. So it's an integrated process need. The technological transferring need to be there because the money withdrawn from the here ATM goes from the foreign accounts. So then who will bear the costs? So that's the reason. So that was only the Sri Lankan banking sector not only isolatedly come to the solutions, they need to come up with the kind of agreement with other institutions or Visa, Master, or American Express databases. So then the security wise, actually the authentication mode, only the password is not enough. The basic cases are conclude there. So then all of the frauds are happening throughout that ATM machines, the network through the ATM machines. And hacking the websites and getting the informations of the personal details.
Adhikari. So, what are the hardware point of view, the requirement for your implementation of your messaging system?
In the organizational
In the
context,
organization, yes.
they should have OpenFire server accounts. So you're using the web server OpenFire. So the organization, they have to create accounts and all in OpenFire server. So for that, they have to connect to the server.
Another advantage of using those servers, because if you use for particular purposes, maybe there are several applications we can put on that, but then the security issue coming into the picture again. So are we want to keep separate this, or we can be integrated this into the normal servers?
The OpenFire server, you
Yes.
mean? It is separate from the the communication system is separate, and to use the OpenFire server, it is separate. However, you can have a local web server if you wish between the OpenFire server and your application. If you have to do some things, some calculations or anything from your end, so for that you can use a local web server.
Again, the security point of view, if you are attacked, your computer is attacked, and you have whole applications are attacked. So how do you guarantee that this is secure?
In attacks,
Attacks, because
Yeah.
your application level, all the applications are affected. How do you guarantee that your application is secure?
our application has the encryption and decryption on the application itself. So once you send a message from between the application and server, so if you try to hack into the system, you get the encrypted message. So it could be only decrypted by the application only. So it can be only read by the application. So in middle, if you access, you cannot read the message.
That means you are simply, the people has to stay with the computer or the laptop. You are just replacing the internal telephone system, kind of using the message.
Yes, and also we have the mobile application. So even if,
Phone is there.
yeah, phone is
Yeah.
there.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
To external organizations as far long as you have
The server connection.
server connections and as long you have exchange keys, you can actually have communication with people outside your organization as well.
Yes, as long as you exchange the keys.
Any other questions? So that brings us to the end of the first session of the day 2 of the symposium.